Talk about entrepreneurship. So first I want to talk about MLM because it has a big part of where I'm going to go with this conversation. But how many of you all remember Amway, ACN, Herbalife all have in common? They're MLM companies, multi-level marketing companies. For those of you that didn't know what MLM was and why we used that abbreviation for it. Okay. So I want to start with that, and we're going to tie it back in just a moment. So, of course, what do they all have in common? I know the first thing people think of is pyramid scheme, right? It's not a pyramid scheme, right? They are businesses. However, they can feel and seem like pyramid schemes. But let me break it down just a little bit. That's not the main focus, but they're all about recruiting people, sharing the information about that company, and you get some type of perk, whether it's a discount on what was that other company with auto insurance? Lord, I forgot. But that other company. So it's like you get a discount on insurance, get discounts on travel, some type of perk, right? Well, let's just break it down. When I was 19, I was introduced to this one guy. His name was Kyle, and I'm gonna say Kyle R because I don't want to put his whole government name out there, but anyways, he introduced me ACN through a friend of mine that I met in college, and Jeff invited me to this event. Of course, it was like some seminar, and of course, they got me because who didn't want to quit their 9 to 5, build a business. It was always exciting, had pumping music. I mean, they would get you going. I mean, if you have gone, you know what the heck I'm talking about, and it's really cool. So I signed up for ACN through my friend Jeff, and Kyle was the top earner, his mentor, right? There's always a mentor in these companies, and really cool guy. I mean, had a BMW, was nice, and I'm 19. So, I already had a business mindset. I mean, for crying out loud, guys, I know, don't judge me, but even as a kid, my neighborhood friends would come over and we pretended to have a bank. I think it was called World Bank. We pretended to have our own bank and we pretended like it was ours, and it was cool. So I already had a slight business mindset. So this was right up my alley because they were talking my language. So long story short, at 19, you had to have that $4.99 to get in. $500. Now, mind you, I've never even had $500 to my name. Okay, I'm 19. I was working in okay, I'm sorry. So I worked for a company called Teleperformance at one point. It's a call center. They have different clients and stuff like that. So it was around this time. So at 19, I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to quit my job. And I didn't realize it, but Kyle kind of shifted on me a little bit. He's like, oh, man, that's awesome. But I don't know. You shouldn't quit your job. And I should have known right there that was something, because little did I know it takes time to build business. And two, MLMs are very, very, very risky. Okay, with your money. So mind you, I'm doing exactly what they said. This gonna help you. 9 to 5s are just over broke, which I 100% believe there's just over broke, and all these lines and the KIS method, keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, silly. It made sense to me. So at 19, I was like, heck yeah, I'm doing this all the way. So I got my last paycheck. I will never forget it. My last paycheck was $500. I took that $500 and I gave him a resignation, which I didn't know, that 2-week notice. I didn't know what that was back then. So I just said, thanks for the experience. I quit my job and learned ACN, and I built the team, and I finally had my downline list. You create that list. And I had 3 friends that were ready to go. We all got our $4.99, our $500 to sign up. And then we were pumped. We were really pumped and excited. Something new. And we were going to be free, financially free, and build a legacy. Now, long story short, we're going to talk about the positives. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I know I sound sarcastic, guys, but I'm sharing this because it's really fun and it's exciting, because it's a part of my journey. It's part of my life. So, I wrote a lot about this, and you guys can read this or what I wrote this morning, but I said I learned from the top earners, right? So people like Kyle, and that didn't last long. So I built a downline. I call myself an MLM veteran. Okay. I'm retired. I will never get back in MLM for a lot of different reasons, which we're going to get to in this podcast. But, and it's not for reasons that I think people would automatically think. So that's why I want to break this down of my story. So what were the things that I had in common with these people? So one, I learned from the top earners of these companies. What was the things that they had that I didn't have at the moment? They had drive. They knew how to have public speaking, because one thing about ACN that I learned was I conquered my fear of public speaking. That was my first intro of learning how to pitch. I didn't know what the heck pitching was, but long story short, you're pitching. You know, you ever see that little card, the little brochure card that they share when you're at your home when you have visitors to do that pitch speech? Well, I literally took the time and practice. I literally took my team and said, listen, we're going to learn this so easy to the point that we don't even need that card. And that's how I got it. I got so good at it that people were inviting me to pitch to their family and friends because I literally had such an overwhelming, impactful story, which was real, my own story of why I was doing the business, but I also knew their products like the back of my hand. So I learned to be around folks that had the same mindset, and it just was the energy around those type of folks is what really kept me in it for the amount of time I was in it and understanding my purpose. So let me get back down to it. So yeah, I had a downline of 300 people in this company. Okay. Let me tell you something. I only got $100 out of this company, but what was my thing that I learned out of this? So a person that was not on my own personal list, this is a person from social media. He joined the company I moved to next. So ACN did not last long. I don't know. I probably was in ACN for about a year. And I realized that this was literally a waste of time. I only earned $100, which I got after I quit. I had a downline of 300 people. For those of you that don't understand what a downline is, that means that I have either recruited so many folks, then the people under me have recruited so many folks. That is my downline. They're underneath me, and I'm supposed to get so many residuals out of that. Long story short. So, I want to bring this back into entrepreneurship and having a business. So that had to be around, what year was that? I joined ACN maybe about 2011 because I was in and out of college and stuff like that. It wasn't for me. So, I want to say that it had to be about 2011, 2012, that year when I was 19. And then when I turned 20, I joined another MLM. Now it was called Explosion. Now Explosion had a way different experience, okay? MCA was the other company I was thinking about. I never joined MCA. It was just at that point I was over MLMs, but Explosion I had a better experience, guys, because why? The residual was 90%. So this is when I do give a little bit of positivity to MLM. The residuals in Explosion were, I believe, 90%. So guys, like when I signed somebody up, I was literally making like $30 a person, $60 a person if they were platinum, or maybe I'm sorry, it was $100 if they were platinum, and I made $30 if they were like the lower level of coming in. I was making money. I think the most I made at that time for a 20-year-old, I made $3,500. Now, guess what? I brought in this one guy in my downline. He made over $12,000 in under a year. And I think as a mentor, this is where you really challenge, because here, most people probably be like, how in the world did your downline make more money than you? That's not what it's about. The culture of business is about helping other people. I was proud that not only did he take the formula of what I taught and he times two it. He literally did what I did times two. So he was hungry. Didn't mean I wasn't hungry, but he was hungry, and he studied everything I said. And even though he had a little bit of doubt when he first joined, when I taught him and I educated him the power of business, he literally made $13,000. I was so proud of this guy and happy for him. And I didn't feel no type of way. I just knew that, whoa, there's a lot of power in educating people.